What's going on, guys? It's Thomas from the Switch Stop, and as I'm sure many of you guys know, you'd be hard-pressed to find a YouTuber who is as much of a 3D World supporter and, well, fanatic as I am. I absolutely love Super Mario 3D World, and for the past, 3 or so years, I've been talking about it ad nauseum, and just constantly saying how awesome it would be on Switch. Because of that, I feel like I've kind of been classified as, the 3D World Deluxe guy, but I mean, hey, I'll take it. However, all this 3D World discussion comes at a cost. For the past 3 years, I've been seeing one type of comment more than pretty much any other comment, and it comes from a group of people who seem to think the comment is really smart and, disproves my entire 3D World should come to the Switch theory, but if you actually take a couple seconds and think about it, it doesn't really make sense at all. This group of people talks about how Super Mario 3D World could never come to the Nintendo Switch because it utilizes the gamepad. I've seriously gotten thousands of comments saying, yeah, 3D World could never come to the Switch, and they normally point at this one specific level known as Puff Prod Peaks. This level 2-2 of Super Mario 3D World, utilizes not only these blocks that you have to touch with the gamepad in order to, move them and you can jump on them, but they also include these platforms on which you have to blow in the gamepad's microphone to get them to move. On top of that, 3D World itself just has a ton of Wii U gamepad support, from stunning enemies like these piranha plants, to revealing invisible coins, and stuff that doesn't have any impact on the gameplay at all, such as blowing the microphone to move these dandelions. There is a ton of Wii U gamepad interactivity in this game, but that does not mean it can't come to Switch. In this video, I'm going to attempt to show you guys with 100% proof and conviction why these gamepad features would not stop 3D World from coming to the Switch, because there's a surprising amount of people who think they would. In order to do this, let's talk about not 3D World. We gotta discuss Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which is a game for the Wii U that has already been ported over to the Nintendo Switch. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is a single-player game that uses the gamepad arguably even more than 3D World. However, obviously that created some problems when Nintendo wanted to port the game over. When you're playing on the Switch in TV mode or in tabletop mode, you're not in a position to use the touchscreen, and when you're on the TV, it's literally just not there. So how did Nintendo rectify this seemingly impossible to surmount problem? Well, let's take a look at the third ever level in the game, Touchstone Trouble. As you can see, this level is jammed together like a puzzle where you have to move these two different sides to kinda, finagle Captain Toad around to eventually get up to the star. Now on the Wii U version, which I'm playing right now, you can see that I'm touching the stuff with the gamepad. Just like the blocks in Puff Prod Peaks, you just touch them with the gamepad. I mean, it's that simple. However, if we switch over to the Nintendo Switch version, you can see they implemented this cursor. This cursor is controlled with gyro controls, kind of similar to how you can control the camera in Splatoon 2. With a single flick of the controller and touch of the trigger, this cursor acts essentially as the entire gamepad touchscreen. Is it as elegant of a solution? No, definitely not. You occasionally have to recenter it, and it's just kind of always on the screen, which is a bit annoying when you're actually watching the game footage back. But considering they did this for Captain Toad, which used the gamepad way more than 3D World, I do not think they'd have a problem at all implementing a cursor into 3D World. Something else I see in these comments a lot is that, oh, they did it in Captain Toad because Captain Toad is single player. But that's not entirely true. Captain Toad implemented a multiplayer mode as a free update, so you can now play that game in co-op and the cursor is still there. So they clearly wouldn't really care because obviously 3D World has multiplayer, but so does Captain Toad, so it's kind of a moot point. However, there's one more feature that you guys are probably thinking about, and that is these microphone sensitive platforms I mentioned earlier. Now these were in Captain Toad as well. In fact, there were entire levels built around them. One of the most interesting of these levels is from episode 3, it's level 26, it's Magma Road Marathon. As you can see in this level, I mean, it literally starts off with the microphone things right there. Hell, there's this entire section where the whole gimmick is you blow into the mic, keep blowing, and then run. The Switch controllers obviously have no microphone, and they therefore couldn't sense when you're blowing on the controller. So how in the world would this work? Once again, not very difficult. Nintendo is a billion-dollar company. Of course they can solve this relatively easy and simple problem. In this level's case, they just replaced these blow blocks with platforms that go on a timer. Therefore, it replaces the physical challenge of having to hold the controller up to your face with a more mental challenge of timing your run so you don't fall off the platform, because you can't just, sustain a blow and keep the platforms where you exactly want them. Now they're on a timer. They even replaced this entire green star portion, which completely gives it a different feel in terms of gameplay. It's a lot harder on the Switch version because you have to actually time it instead of just, going But I mean, it still functions. It's not like it's the end of the world, they just had to slightly update it. And in all honesty, this is what I think they're gonna do with the Switch version of 3D World. While the cursor was necessary in Captain Toad because there are a ton of levels that require it, there are very few levels where you need to use the gamepad, in 3D World that is. Of course, you got Puff Prod Peaks, which I mentioned earlier. Then you also have Hands-On Hall, where occasionally you need to use the gamepad to open up these screen doors. However, neither of these are deal breakers in terms of porting the games over. The blocks in Puff Prod Peaks could literally just be transitioned into like timer blocks, kind of like how Captain Toad did with the blowing platforms. So no matter whether you have to actually blow or touch it on the gamepad, they could both just be on a timer. Sure, it would make the level, pretty different from the original vision, but A, it's just one level in a game that has over like 80 of them, and B, this level's on a split path anyway. If they wanted to, they could literally just take it out. Obviously, probably won't do that because that's kind of like the dramatic solution, but yeah, I mean, they're not going to let one level stop them from making the game. So if they seriously thought they couldn't come up with any of the solutions I, just mentioned earlier, they could just remove the level and it would be fine because it's just on a split path anyway. Overall, I want to end with this. Nintendo is the company that actually made these games, obviously. As game developers, they were able to take a blank project file and create these entire games. If you seriously think they're gonna let a roadblock as small as using the gamepad in like one level stop them from porting a game over, then I seriously don't know what to tell you. Games such as Nintendo Land I don't think will be ported over. Unfortunately, Nintendo Land's awesome, because that game is built around the gamepad. You literally need it for every single game, and it would not make sense to port that game over to Switch. However, even with games such as New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe's Boost mode that just required the gamepad but is like kind of a side mode, Nintendo just straight up removed that in the Switch version, so they're clearly fine with working around these problems. With that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed. I just wanted to make this video because I get this comment so many times. Like, I cannot describe to you guys how often I get the comment like, oh, but what about the level where you need to use the gamepad? This game could never work on the Switch. And I just want to be able to simply link those people to this video because I don't understand that mindset. Like, how can you actually think that? With that out of the way, I want to say thank you guys all so much for watching. We're going to keep doing these Mario Remastered contents until the games eventually, get announced or not announced, who knows. And just letting you guys know, once this channel does hit 100,000, I really do have big plans. I can't really, announce them now and start making the content that I truly want to make, because we're in this, Mario Remastered, section right now of this channel's life, where all you guys want to see is the Mario stuff, and hey, I mean, I don't dislike making it at all. I love making this stuff. So I'm going to keep making the Mario Remastered content. I just want to let you guys know that we have a ton of original stuff just in the works. So once all this Mario Remaster hype kind of dies down, look forward to all of that coming soon. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at SwitchStop. Like the video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. And with that out of the way, I'm Thomas on the SwitchStop signing off. Peace.